said no.
Well, too late. Hey, welcome back. We are now going to be reviewing all of Tuesday's action from the NHL. We'll try to make this as sweet and short as possible. Short and sweet. Or sweet and short. I don't know how that saying
Short and
goes.
sweet.
There we go. Short and sweet as possible. So the first matchup took place between the Columbus Blue Jackets and my beloved Montreal Canadiens. So in the first period, Brendan Gallagher would open up the scoring just 21 seconds in that opening frame, getting his 11th goal of the year, assisted by Jake Evans. Slavkovsky would get a power play goal 3 minutes and 15 seconds into that period. For Slavkovsky, that'd be his 14th goal of the year from Matheson and Cole Caulfield. Wall would increase the lead to 3-0, getting his 4th of the year from Xhekaj and Newhook 5 minutes and 48 seconds into that frame. There was no scoring the rest of the game, and for Caden Primo, he was the goaltender for the Habs. He would get his first career shutout, stopping, I don't know how many shots they had. 41 shots, 41 saves. Unreal. What a game for Primo. So with the victory, the Habs are sitting at 25, 30, and 10. And it's obviously they're not making the postseason. I'd be very content if they got 30 wins this season. As for the Blue Jackets, 22, 33, and 10 is where they stand at the end of this matchup. Alrighty, the next matchup has the Buffalo Sabres and the Red Wings. Almost there. There you go. All right. Who do you think won this one?
I'm guessing Sabres.
Oh, that's a good guess. So in the first, Tuck would increase the lead. He would get the Buffalo Sabres their first
Increase the lead?
Yeah, increase the lead to 1-0.
Already?
Yeah, just a minute and 7 seconds into that first period. For Tuck, that'd be his 18th goal of the season. Bowen Byram, who was fitting in nicely with those Buffalo Sabres squad, would get his 10th of the year from Benson and Greenway roughly halfway through that period. With 7 minutes and 23 seconds remaining on the clock, Sherratt would finally get the Red Wings on the board. For Sherratt, that'd be his 5th of the season from Raymond and Bergen. Benson would increase the lead to 3-1 with 7 minutes exactly left on the clock. For Benson, that'd be his 7th goal of the year from Greenway and Darlene. Skinner would increase the lead to 4-1 with 4.5 minutes to go. For Skinner, that'd be his 21st goal of the season. And Benson and Cousins assisted on his score. His score or his goal? Which one sounds better? Goal. There we go. I'll go with that one. In the second period, Clifton would increase the lead. This is correct. To 5-1, getting his 2nd goal of the season from Tage Thompson. Bowen Byron will get his 2nd goal of the game, his 11th of the season from Tage Thompson and Jared Jonas. If I'm pronouncing that name correctly, I always have a hard time with that name. I can never figure it out. Whatever happened to like a Smith or a Jones? Not
Or Johnson.
Gonson, exactly. Luke Raymond would cut the deficit to 6-2, getting his 18th of the year from Fabry and Patrick Kane, a power play goal 9.5 minutes into that period. Paterka would increase lead to 7-2 with 6 minutes and 11 seconds to go on the clock. For Paterka, that would be his 21st goal of the season, making it 7-2. I already said that for the Buffalo Sabres after 40 minutes of play. In the third period, with roughly 2.5 minutes remaining, Wallman would get his 12th of the season, giving the Red Wings their 3rd goal of the game, assisted by Shane Gothisberg and Ole Mata. So 7-3 would be the final score. It's like a football score. I thought football was over.
Football score is 42.
Oh, okay. You say so. So for the Sabres, after the win, they're 31, 30, and 5. And as for the Red Wings, after the loss, they're now out of a playoff spot, 33, 26, and 6. And it's hard to believe that they were so dominant for so long, but now they're starting to, the wheels are starting to come off the wagon. I'm not sure what's happening with the Red Wings, but they better get on a win streak here soon. All right. The next match is very fast. Just one goal to report as we have the Carolina Hurricanes, and they were hosting the New York Rangers. There. This will take literally 30 seconds.
Are you sure?
I think so. So just the lone goal to report. Adam Fox would get the game-winning goal with 8 seconds remaining on the clock in the first period. For Fox, it'd be his 11th goal of the season from Kreider and Lindgren. So 1-0 is the final. Pretty easy.
Well, already?
Yeah, it's easy. If only all games are like that. This video would take like 10 seconds. So for the Rangers, they're 43, 18, and 4, still sitting first in that Metropolitan Division. As for the Hurricanes, after the loss, they're still sitting comfortable in that second spot with a record of 39, 20, and 6. Alrighty. Ottawa. Pittsburgh.
That's not a football goal.
That's not a football score, not at all.
Is it what?
Ottawa right hand side, Pittsburgh left hand side. And this is only 3 goals in this game, so this shouldn't take that long either. So if
I
all
wonder
the
who got them.
oh, we'll find out here in just a second. I'm going to tell you. So there's no scoring in the first two periods. Unreal. In this third period, Sanderson would kick things off for the Senders, getting his 8th of the season from Joseph and Giroux with 9 minutes and 54 seconds on the clock. And just when it looked like this goal, that might be the game-winning goal, Bunting, one of the new acquisitions from the Penguins, would tie the game up with 23 seconds to go on the clock. For Bunting, that'd be his 14th goal of the season, assisted by Erik Karlsson, a former Senator, and Evgeny Malkin. In overtime, Batherson would get the game-winning goal with 2 minutes and 47 seconds to go on the clock. For Batherson, that'd be his 23rd of the season from Stützle and Sanderson. So 2-1 would be the final score in favor of the Sens. So with the victory, the Sens are 26, 33, and 4, still unlikely to make the postseason. And speaking of unlikely to make the postseason, after the loss, the Penguins are 28, 27, and 9. Easy. All right, next one has Philadelphia, and they're playing against the Sharks. Who do you think won this game?
I'm guessing Philadelphia.
That's a pretty good guess. So Farabee would kick things off for the Flyers in the first, getting his 19th of the year from Frost, 3 minutes and 29 seconds into the frame. Zadina would tie the game up with 41 seconds to go on the clock. That would be his 11th of the season from Kunin and Barbanov, a power play goal to note. In the second period, Frost would get on the goal score sheet himself, getting his 10th of the year from Konechny and Cam York, a power play goal with 9 minutes and 20 seconds into that frame. Zadina would strike yet again, getting his 2nd of the game, his 12th of the season from Kunin and Kostin, a power play goal with 6.5 minutes to go on the clock. In the third period, Owen Tippett would get the go-ahead goal and the game-winning goal, his 23rd of the season from Konechny and Cam York, 5 minutes and 9 seconds remaining on the clock. 5 minutes and 9 seconds in the game. There's no other score in the rest of the game. That's what I was trying to say. So with the victory, the Flyers are 34, 28, and 8, still sitting 3rd in that Metropolitan Division, but the Islanders are breathing down their necks. They're right behind them. As for the Sharks, 16, 41, and 7 is where they stand at the end of this, and now they have the worst record in the NHL.
I think
Unreal.
this is wrong because this doesn't show. But he's wearing the.
Yeah, they haven't updated that picture yet. Yeah. Alrighty, the next one takes place in Dallas. They're on the right side, and they're playing against the Florida Panthers. Stars.
And Florida.
You got her.
You can stop copying or repeating everything I say.
Okay. There we go. I wonder who won this one. So in the
probably Florida. I don't know.
It's possible. So in the first, Joe Pavelski would kick things off for the Stars, 3 minutes and 53 seconds into the frame. That'd be his 24th of the season from Jason Robertson and Wyatt Johnson. Speaking of Robertson, he'd get on the goal score sheet himself, 7 minutes and 48 seconds into that second period, his 23rd of the year from Pavelski and Jamie Benn. Wyatt Johnson would score, making it 3-0, getting his 24th of the year from Marchment, 8 minutes 11 seconds into the period. With just over 7 minutes remaining on the clock, Reinhart would finally get the Panthers on the board, getting a power play goal, his 46th of the year. This kid's definitely going to get hit 50. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Assisted by Barkov and Matthew Tkachuk. After 40 minutes of play, the Stars had a 3-1 lead. In the third period, cue the comeback. Barkov would cut the deficit to 3-2, getting a power play goal with 9 minutes and 51 seconds remaining on the clock. That'd be his 17th of the year, assisted by Verhaeghe and Montour. Sam Bennett would tie the game up with exactly 6 minutes to go on the clock, getting his 16th of the year from Tkachuk and Forsling. Then just 38 seconds after that, Barkov would get his second goal of the game-winning goal, his 18th of the year from Verhaeghe and Montour, a power play goal to note. So despite the fact that the Panthers were down 3-0 in the second period, they managed to come back and win this in regulation 4-3.
I mean, that's what teams do.
Exactly. They can come back. There's an old saying that the 3-0 lead is like the worst lead in hockey because you can easily lose it. So with the victory, the Panthers are 45, 17, and 4, still sitting first in that Atlantic Division. And despite the loss, the Stars are also first in the Central Division with a record of 40, 18, and 9. All right, now we're off to Minnesota, where they played against
Who's right?
Minnesota's right. And they played against the Arizona Coyotes. This was an absolute must-watch. I mean, both these teams are Stanley Cup content. Oh, right, they're probably not making the playoffs. Anyways, we'll see how they did.
Same for your team.
Yeah, you don't got to remind me. I've known about my team for about 3 years now. Kaprizov would kick things off for the Minnesota Wild in a first period, 6.5 minutes into the period, getting his 32nd goal of the year from Faber and Merrill. In the second, Bustad would tie the game up 8 minutes, 8 seconds into the period, getting his 16th of the year from Carcone and Kesserling. Ryan Hartman would give the Minnesota Wild a 2-1 lead late in that second period with 1 minute and 46 seconds to go on the clock. For Hartman, that would be his 17th of the season from Kaprizov and Gaudreau. In the third period, Kaprizov would increase lead to 3-1, assisted by Middleton. For Kaprizov, that'd be his second goal of the game, his 33rd of the year, with 2.5 minutes to go on the clock. And then with 2 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, Foligno would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his 10th of the year. So 4-1 would be the final score in favor of Minnesota. So with the victory, they're 32, 27, and 7. And with a loss, the Coyotes are 26, 35, and 5. All right, 3 more games to look over. The next one took place in Chicago, and they were playing against the Anaheim Ducks. There we go. Nice job. Where would I be without you? Probably not even this far. So in the first, Leeson would kick things off for the Anaheim Ducks, despite the fact that they were shorthanded. He would get a shorthanded goal, getting his 9th of the year, assisted by Cam Fowler. Ryan Donato would score on that same power play, tying the game up at 1. Bless you. For Donato, that'd be his 9th of the year from Radish and Athanasiou. In the second period, Leeson would get his second goal of the game, his 10th of the year from Vakanunen. 1 minute and 51 seconds into that frame. Kurashev would tie the game up 3.5 minutes into that period, his 12th goal of the year from Connor Bedard and Nick Foligno. Seth Jones would give the Blackhawks their first lead of the game, getting his 4th of the year from Foligno and Connor Bedard, a power play goal with 9 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the frame. Bedard would then increase the lead to 2-0. Would increase the lead to 4-2. Yeah, I know, I screwed up. For Bedard, that'd be his 20th goal of the year from Kurashev and Nick Foligno, and that goal happened with just 29 seconds to go on the clock. After 40 minutes of play, it was 4-2 in favor of the Blackhawks. In the third period, the onslaught would continue. Entwistle would get his 4th of the season, increasing lead to 5-2, assisted by Athanasiou, 2 minutes and 43 seconds in the frame. Less than 30 seconds after that, Kurashev would get his second goal of the game, his 13th of the year, assisted by Bedard and Foligno. And then with just under 10 minutes to go in the period, 9 minutes and 54 seconds to be exact, Johnson would release the lead to 7-2, getting his 15th of the year from Bedard and Kurashev. So Bedard had a hell of a game. He had a goal and 4 assists, so 5 points is a pretty impressive game. This is the second consecutive game where the Blackhawks scored 7 goals. Where was this team all year? If they scored 7 goals every game, they'd probably be in contention right now. Obviously, but if Bedard didn't get hurt and miss X amount of games, that played a bit of a factor too. Anyways, so with the win, the Blackhawks are sitting at 18, 43, and 5. They are now leap the San Jose Sharks in the standings for the second worst record in the NHL. And as for the Anaheim Ducks, 23, 39, and 3 is where they stand at the end of this one. All right, 2 more games to look over. We have the Calgary Flames and the Colorado Avalanche. I wonder who won this game.
I'm going to guess Avalanche.
That's a good guess. So, in the first, Mikko Rantanen would give the Avalanche a 1-0 lead, 2 minutes and 5 seconds into the period. For Rantanen, that'd be his 32nd goal of the season from Nishushkin and Nathan McKinnon.
Hello, can you speak?
No, I can't. Miro Manov would get his first NHL goal as a new member of the Calgary Flames, and with that infamous trade with the Vegas Golden Knights, tying the game up at 1, 3.5 minutes into that period, assisted by Kadri and Pospisil. Dewar would increase the lead, give the Flames a 2-1 lead, getting his 2nd of the season from Jonathan Huberdeau and Paschal. After 20 minutes of play, the Flames had a 2-1 lead. In the second period, Josh Manson would tie the game up 4 minutes and 52 seconds into that period, getting his 7th of the year from Walker and Cogliano. Nathan McKinnon would get his 41st goal of the year to give the Colorado Avalanche a 3-2 lead. For McKinnon, that would be his 41st goal of the year from Chushkin and Rantanen. Chushkin would then increase lead to 4-2, getting his 24th of the year from Rantanen and Taves, 7 minutes and 53 seconds into that frame. Casey Middlestat would score his first goal as a member of the Colorado Avalanche, getting his 15th of the year from Duhaime and Devon Toews. Rantanen would increase the lead to 6-2 with 46 seconds to go on the clock, getting his 33rd goal of the year from Cale Makar. Thankfully, there's no scoring the rest of the game, so 6-2 would be the final score in favor of the Avalanche. With the win, Colorado is sitting at 41-20-5, third in that Central Division. As for the Flames, 31-29-5 is where they stand. It's very unlikely they'll be making the postseason this year. Okay, the last matchup took place between the two recent expansion teams as the Seattle Kraken were playing host to the Vegas Golden Knights. Yay. Who do you think won this game?
Probably. I guess. Vegas.
Good guess. So in the second period, there was no scoring in the first. Burakovsky would kick things off for the Kraken, 4 minutes and 14 seconds into that period. For Burakovsky, that'd be his third goal of the year, assisted by McCann and Cartle. Marchessault would tie the game up with a power play, getting his 36th goal of the year from Barbashev and Jack Eichel. I'll make a call right now and say Barbashev hits 40 easily. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Dorofiev would give the Vegas Golden Knights their first lead of the game with 5 minutes remaining on the clock, getting his 9th of the year from William Karlsson. After 20 minutes of play, it was 2-1 in favor of the Vegas Golden Knights. Matt Beniers would tie the game up a minute and 55 seconds in that second period, getting his 9th of the year from Borgen and Thomas Tatar. Brandon Tanev would give the Kraken a 3-2 lead, getting his 6th of the year from Belmar and Yamamoto.
Yeah,
Yamamoto, yeah, that's his new name. 5 minutes and 21 seconds into that period. Bjorkstrand would increase lead to 4-2 with 9.5 minutes to go on the clock. For Bjorkstrand, that'd be his 17th goal of the year from Joel Vannon and Yanni Gord. William Karlsson would cut the deficit to 4-3 with 7 minutes and 37 seconds to go on the clock. For Karlsson, that'd be his 23rd goal of the year from McNabb and Shea Theodore. Jonathan Marchessault would tie the game up with just 17 seconds to go on the clock, getting his 37th goal of the year from Stevenson and Jack Eichel. So it looked like the Kraken may have been able to get this game settled in regulation, but unfortunately those pesky Vegas Golden Knights never go away. Jack Eichel would get the game-winning goal in overtime, getting his 20th of the season from Pietrangelo, 3 minutes and 1 second in the overtime period. So with the victory, the Golden Knights are 35-23-7. They have the number 2 wildcard spot as of now. And as for the Seattle Kraken, 28-24-12 is where they stand at the end of this one. It's looking very bleak that they'll be able to make a second consecutive trip to the playoffs. All right, that takes care of my recap from Tuesday's action of the NHL. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Any last words?
No.
Okay. As always.
Take care.
That's right.